Kevin here with Turn 5 Fabrication, and today we're going to be doing a cat delete on this 335D as well as a DPF delete. We have the material here for the cat delete. It's 3.5-inch oval tubing, and then we have the downpipe here that'll delete the DPF. So once you remove all of the bottom trays, we're going to remove these side trays here, and then we're going to take this cross brace off. You know, we're just going to take just slide the whole thing out of there, and it comes out. There's 3 sensors up top, so we're going to go ahead and only use this one, and this one right here. I don't know if you can see that. There's a third back there. That one's not going to be used. So we're going to go ahead and undo those, and then, I don't know if you can see, right there is your clamp that clamps the downpipe to the turbo. Okay, I'm not sure if you can see this or not. The plug that we're going to unplug is going to be this first one right here. And if you just take a flathead, and I can't do it because the camera's in the way, but if you just push on the there's a bottom lip you can kind of see. If you just push on that and pull down, it'll unclip itself. So now we're going to undo the clamp for the downpipe, and the clamp uses an E10. Okay, so now that we got it loose, just go ahead and pull it away, push it down, and then use your hand to pull up on the clamp. Just get it all loose. There we go. Now we're going to raise the car up and go back at it from underneath. This is the fun part. Off of the motor mount, there's a 16mm nut on there. That's easier to get from the top. We're just going to undo this O2 here, unplug the EGT sensor, and going to go ahead and just unplug all this stuff for the DEF. Squeeze on both sides. Easiest thing you could do is just take a screwdriver, just pop it under the backside, pops right out. So now we're going to undo here and here. So we're going to remove this cover for the motor mount. So you're going to use a T40 socket, and then I believe it's the E12 to get 2 of those bolts out of there. There's a vacuum hose that's in there that you do not want to break. The nipples can be very easy to break on these. I'm just going to wiggle it out. Okay, so up top here, there's a bolt that needs to come out for the motor mount, and it's a 13mm. We'll take that out. Good kitty. Oh yeah. So the next thing that we're gonna do is support the motor. So we got a 2x4 and we got our pole jack. And we just want to take, you can see it, just take a little bit of weight off of the motor. And that's all we're doing. There's 4 total. Yeah, you can see the 2 there, and then there's 1 inside that hole, and there's 1 above it. And they're all E12s. What I'm doing here, in there. Same thing with the 1 above it. It's hard to do this one-handed. we'll have to break it loose first. So we're gonna do this by feel. It's easier to get the extension and the socket on the bolt and then put a ratchet on it. We got it broke loose. Yeah, we'll just spin it off with our fingers on the extension. Now the last one is going to be, the one we just did was, let me see if I can show this to you. I went above between the downpipe and the hole in the mount. So this next one is going to actually go inside of that mount. And we'll break it loose and get it out. Okay, I can feel a lot of weight on the bolt as I'm trying to pull it out. So we're going to hold a ratchet on there so it doesn't slip off, and we're going to go up on the motor. We freed up all the weight from that. Now we're going to take that motor mount, just try to hold the base of it. Rotate it out. There's your 4 holes of how that's on the motor from the front of the car to the back. I'm sorry guys, I forgot to tell you to take off this O2 sensor. It's easier to break it loose when the whole exhaust is attached. So right here there's another 13 millimeter that holds the downpipe on, and we're gonna go ahead and undo that. It's easier if you use a couple wobble extensions. Get this motor mount out. Another thing is that when I was pulling the downpipe down with the DPF, there's some vacuum lines that are up in the top that I just kind of pulled down with it, and they slipped off of the fitting. Get it hanging down. We got one more O2 that we got to undo. So we're going to reuse that one. And there's what we're replacing. Okay, so the O2 is still on the car. We went ahead and swapped the EGT sensor from there, the front one, to here. And now we're ready to install this back into the car. So just counter twist the O2. That way we got plenty of rotation on it without rotating the wire for it. The flange gasket only goes on one way, and this is how your V-band was. It goes with the washer on that side, the spacer, and that's how it was installed, and we're going to flip it so that we can access it from the top easier. Okay, so the V-band is on there, the clamp is on there, it's very loose, but that's just so we can line up the rest of the exhaust, and we're going to keep this exhaust on here how it is, and that way we line it up, and whenever we cut it and we bolt it back up, it'll be back to factory spec. So putting the motor mount back in there, you're going to want to do the mount itself, and then for the bracket, you're going to want to take your bolt and put it through the hole, and then take the extension in the socket and put it on there too, while you put it up in between the frame rail and the motor. That gives you a good start on it. And then go ahead and hook up the vacuum line and the cover plate for the motor mount, as well as putting the nut on the motor mount to the bracket, so when you lower the car down you can get it on there easier. If you have any questions, leave it in a comment below, and be sure to check out the Facebook page as well. Link is in the description. Now we're just going to tighten up that motor mount again, tighten up the V-band flange, And that's how you do the downpipes on these.